Worldbreaker Hulk. When people talk about the most powerful version of the Hulk, they are almost always talking about Worldbreaker Hulk. This isn't just Hulk after stubbing his toe and going berserk, this is the result of years of rage, grief, and betrayal boiling over into something unstoppable. The story kicks off with the Illuminati deciding Hulk is too dangerous for Earth and blasting him into space. At first, it seems like a punishment, but Hulk actually finds peace on the planet Sakaar. He becomes a gladiator, leads a rebellion, and eventually becomes king. For the first time in years, he is truly happy. And then Marvel rips it all away. His ship explodes, killing his wife and unborn child and leaving Hulk broken, emotionally and mentally, in a way we'd never seen before. This tragedy triggers a level of rage so intense that Hulk becomes something beyond himself. He gathers an army, returns to Earth, and declares war on the heroes who sent him away. This is the World War Hulk storyline, and it's exactly as metal as it sounds. Hulk isn't interested in talking, he isn't interested in negotiating, he wants revenge. And here's where things get really wild. Worldbreaker Hulk's power isn't just stronger punches, his very footsteps shake the ground hard enough to cause earthquakes. The gamma radiation pouring off him that it threatens to fry everyone nearby. He can clap his hands together and level entire city blocks. His range is off the charts. He stomps heroes like Iron Man, knocks around the X-Men, and even defeats Sentry in one of the most brutal brawls ever drawn. But what makes Worldbreaker Hulk so fascinating isn't just the raw power, it's the personality that comes with it. He's not a mindless monster, he's calm, collected, almost regal, and completely in control. That's what makes him so scary. He's not smashing things out of instinct, he's making deliberate choices. When he punishes the Illuminati, it's methodical. He forces them into gladiator battles, just like he endured on Sakaar. This form also shows the potential danger of Hulk's power if he ever truly let loose. If Hulk completely unleashed his rage, he could literally shatter the planet. That's why this version has become so iconic. It's the closest we've seen the Hulk reaching his theoretical maximum. The version fans bring up whenever they argue that Hulk could beat a certain character. And even after the dust settled and the Hulk calmed down, the legacy of Worldbreaker Hulk stuck. It proved Hulk is more than just a wild card for Avengers to worry about. He's a global threat if pushed too far. It's one of those storylines that elevated him from Big Green Bruiser to a truly mythic figure in Marvel history. Old Man Phoenix. He's basically Logan cranked up to cosmic levels, claws, healing factor, and now a universe-burning Firebird inside him. This version of Wolverine comes from a far-flung future where King Loki wiped out humanity just to make Thor suffer. Logan actually died during this apocalypse, but the Phoenix Force chose him as its new host and brought him back to life. From there, he spent countless eons wandering the dying universe, snuffing out celestial bodies one by one to ease the cosmos toward its inevitable end. Logan basically becomes a one-man funeral for the universe. Old Man Phoenix is fully aware, older, and a little more philosophical. He still has Logan's classic gruff personality, but he's been alive for billions of years, carrying the weight of watching everything he's ever cared about fade away. When we meet him, he's scarred by time but still fighting, still moving forward. And that combination of cosmic scale and Logan's street-level attitude is what makes this version so compelling. It's the same guy who used to drink at the bar with Nightcrawler, now casually blowing up stars. At one point, Logan crosses paths with a future Loki who has caused endless suffering across the galaxy while chasing the Infinity Stones. After seeing enough death, Logan decides to step in, using his Phoenix powers to go back in time and try to stop Loki's plan. This kicks off a series of time-hopping adventures where he battles Ultron drones, steals the Space Stone out from under S.H.I.E.L.D.'s nose, and even stalks his old friends from the shadows just to see them one last time. It's a perfect mix of nostalgic and bittersweet. This is Wolverine after all. He can't just sit quietly when the universe is in danger. The biggest clash comes when Logan reunites with Thor in the future. Thor is trying to bring life back to Earth, but Logan actually attacks him for it, saying something worse. Dr. Doom is waiting out there and will come for Earth if it's repopulated. The two old friends throw down in an insane battle, but the Phoenix refuses to let Logan kill Thor because of its own ancient connection to him. Eventually, Logan agrees to fight alongside Thor against Doom, setting up one of the most insane final battles in Marvel history. Logan goes out in true Wolverine fashion, painfully, violently, but with purpose. Doom literally burns him down to a skeleton with hellfire, but Logan resurrects himself through the Phoenix Force, then sacrifices his own life and power to transform the Phoenix into Mjolnir. This gives Thor the ultimate weapon he needs to finish Doom for good. It's a heroic, almost mythic death for Logan, and one of the most badass exits Marvel has ever given him. But of course, you can't keep Wolverine down forever. The Phoenix resurrects him again, and he eventually joins the Goddesses of Thunder and fights even bigger multiversal threats, including Doom, the Living Planet. After helping contain the power of the first Firmament alongside two other Phoenix hosts, Logan finally gets to rest. He literally retires and becomes becomes a gardener at the end of time. After all the blood, fire, and tragedy, it's strangely beautiful to see Wolverine finally find some peace. The Bleeding Edge Armor. The Bleeding Edge armor marks the point where Tony Stark basically becomes Iron Man 24/7. No more lugging around a suitcase or summoning suits from satellites. Introduced in Invincible Iron Man issue 25 in 2010, this armor was the first nanotech suit in Marvel Comics, living inside Tony's body and ready to assemble at a thought. After rebooting his brain, Tony designs this new armor as the ultimate fusion of man and machine, making him Iron Man in a way he'd never been before. This armor is stored inside Tony's bones in the form of a liquid metal, which sounds kind of horrifying but is also very cool. At any moment, he can mentally command it to flow out of his body and form the full Iron Man suit around him. No clunky assembly, no rushing to grab a briefcase, just instant transformation. It's fast, sleek, and way more advanced than everything he'd ever used before, feeling like a natural evolution of the Extremis armor. Functionally, the Bleeding Edge is loaded with toys. It can generate blades, energy cannons, shields, and even entire constructs out of its nanomaterial. It's self-repairing. It adapts in real time, and it can even detach pieces of itself to form drones. The flexibility is what makes this armor so powerful. Tony isn't just wearing a suit. He's basically wearing a shape-shifting weapon system that responds to whatever situation he's in. One of the coolest things about this version is how seamlessly it integrates with Tony's biology. The suit keeps him alive if he's injured, filters out toxins, and even boosts his strength and reflexes. It turns Iron Man from guy in a suit into a literal cyborg superhero. At this point, there's basically no line between Tony and Iron Man. If the armor is part of him, so is the mission. Personality-wise, this is also peak futurist Tony Stark. He's confident, maybe a little too confident, and fully embracing transhumanism. Bleeding Edge is Iron Man at his most ambitious, showing what happens when Tony stops thinking about practical constraints and just builds the perfect weaponized second skin. Eventually the armor is destroyed because it wouldn't be comics if something that powerful stuck around forever, but its legacy lives on. The idea of a nanotech Iron Man armor became a staple, influencing later suits in both the comics and the MCU. If you loved how Tony's armor worked in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, you have Bleeding Edge to thank for planting that seed years earlier. The God Without Fear. Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, is already one of Marvel's most fascinating heroes, a blind lawyer by day, a vigilante by night, and someone constantly wrestling with fate, morality, and guilt. So when he gets cosmic powers, it's the ultimate collision of street-level heroics with god-tier awareness. The God Without Fear first shows up in War of the Realms, and the moment you see him, you just know this is not your usual Hell's Kitchen story. It all starts when the War of the Realms spills onto Earth and chaos erupts. Malekith and his army are invading, the 10 realms are colliding, and everyone from Thor to Spider-Man is getting pulled into this massive battle. In the middle of it all, Daredevil ends up wielding Hofund, Heimdall's enchanted sword. But here's the kicker. The sword doesn't just give him a weapon, it also grants him cosmic sight, essentially the ability to see everything across the 9 realms all at once. For a guy who's been blind his whole life, suddenly being able to see not just the world but the entire cosmos, that's huge. And Matt doesn't just gain vision, he gains Heimdall's cosmic awareness, meaning he can perceive threats across time and space. This takes Daredevil from being a protector of Hell's Kitchen to someone who can literally watch the entire universe. It's one of those oh wow moments where you realize just how much dangerous and capable Matt becomes with his upgrade. In this form, Daredevil is an absolute force. He fights frost giants, dark elves, and other mythic threats like he's been doing it his whole life. His senses are so heightened that he's practically untouchable in combat. And yes, like most cosmic power-ups in Marvel, it's a temporary thing, but it leaves a huge impression on Matt and on readers. After experiencing that level of perception, Matt has to come back down to earth, literally, and return to the gritty, grounded life he had before. So even when he's given godlike power, he still has to face the small, painful struggles that make him who he is. He doesn't lose himself to power. He doesn't try to become some cosmic overlord. Instead, he uses the gift to protect others and fight for justice on a scale he never thought possible. It's a brief moment where Daredevil stops being the devil of Hell's Kitchen and becomes something closer to the Watcher of the Realms. The God Without Fear isn't just a flashy power-up, it's a glimpse at what makes Matt Murdock so compelling. The Black Vortex form of Kitty Pryde. The Black Vortex is basically Marvel's ultimate cosmic upgrade machine. You look into it, submit to it, and it transforms you into the most powerful version of yourself. During the Black Vortex crossover, a bunch of heroes and villains debate whether to use it because it's permanent and can completely change who you are. Kitty Pryde, the X-Men's resident phasing genius, ends up making the call to submit, and the result is one of the most jaw-dropping power-ups in X-Men history. Before the Black Vortex, Kitty's power was already pretty impressive. She can phase through walls, become intangible, and even take other people with her. But when she accepts the Black Vortex's gift, she levels up in a way that makes even the cosmic big shots do a double take. Her phasing becomes so advanced that she can phase entire planets. Yup, not a wall, not a building, a planet. She literally phases a whole world to save it from being destroyed. Her new form is visually stunning too. The Black Vortex gives her this sleek, glowing cosmic look with starry skin and flowing energy patterns. She's no longer just a mutant hero, she's a full-on cosmic entity. And what's cool is that Kitty doesn't lose herself in the process. The Vortex offers power at a cost. It can corrupt. But Kitty stays true to who she is. Instead of becoming some galactic conqueror, she uses her new abilities to protect people on a universal scale. One of the most iconic moments is when she faces a planet to avoid it colliding with another one. The sheer scale of that feat can be overstated. It puts her in the same league as characters like Silver Surfer or Captain Marvel when it comes to cosmic heroics. This was the first time Kitty went from brilliant, scrappy X-Men member to a being who could casually manipulate matter on a universal scale. This transformation also shows Kitty's growth as a character. She started as the youngest member of the X-Men, often overshadowed by the likes of Wolverine, Storm, and Cyclops, and by the time of the Black Vortex event, she's a leader, a powerhouse, and willing to take risks that others wouldn't. Her choice to submit to the Vortex wasn't just about power, it was about doing what no one else could do to save countless lives. And even after the event, Kitty keeps the cosmic upgrade for a while, which opens the door for more ambitious storytelling. It's not permanent forever, but for a brief period, we got to see what happens when one of Marvel's most clever and compassionate heroes is given near limitless power. And honestly, it ruled. Astral Regulator Thanos. If King Thanos is the embodiment of victory without purpose, this version of Thanos is the apex of omnipotence, a version who rewrites all of existence. Introduced in Thanos the Infinity Conflict and the Infinity Ending, this version of the Mad Titan wields the power of a forgotten, cosmic device called the Astral Regulator. In this storyline, Thanos transcends even the powers of the Living Tribunal, the Infinity Stones, and the one above all's cosmic balance, all in pursuit of one insane goal: absolute control of all realities, timelines, and possibilities. He achieves this by discovering and taking control of the Astral Regulator, a device once used by the one above all to maintain equilibrium across the multiverse. And with it, Thanos becomes the supreme editor of reality itself. Once in possession of the device, Thanos absorbs the Living Tribunal, erases multiversal abstracts like eternity and infinity, destroys entire universes as casually as blinking, rewrites the laws of logic and physics to fit his will, and becomes omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent across the multiverse. And he did all of that with a terrifying calmness, believing he's making the universe better. And like a cosmic editor cleaning up a messy book, he trims anything he finds unnecessary, even if it means wiping out entire civilizations or abstract embodiments of concepts. But here's the twist: he loses. Why? Because he makes the same mistake he always does. He underestimates himself, or rather a version of himself. In the final moments of the Infinity Ending, a part of Thanos' soul, dubbed the Good Thanos, the one that regrets doubts and fears, manages to separate itself and reject the device's influence. With help from Adam Warlock, this fragment essentially undoes everything Astral Regulator Thanos created, using the device to reset reality back to its original state. And the price? The erasure of the godlike Thanos. So despite having ultimate power, Astral Regulator Thanos is brought down not by a bigger force, but by his own inner conflict. And based on that, we can safely say that this version of Thanos is one of the most powerful beings in all of Marvel lore. More powerful than the Infinity Gauntlet, more powerful than King Thanos, and arguably above nearly every cosmic entity. The God of Stories. Loki has always been the god of mischief, the schemer, the backstabber, the troublemaker who somehow keeps surviving every mess he creates. But Agent of Asgard flips the script and gives him one of the most satisfying glow-ups in Marvel history. Over the course of the series, Loki works to rewrite his own myth, literally trying to change the story of who he is. He doesn't want to be locked into the same old cycle of trick, betray, get punished, repeat. And by the end, he actually pulls it off. He becomes the god of stories, a completely new version of Loki. The cool thing here is that this isn't just a power-up where Loki throws bigger magic blasts. As the god of stories, Loki essentially steps outside the narrative. He gains control over his own fate, and even to some extent, the fate of others, by shaping the story around him. It's Marvel's way of saying Loki is done playing the villain in everyone else's saga. Now he's the author of his own legend. Visually, this form is gorgeous. He's calmer, wiser, and for once, honest about what he wants. This Loki isn't just trying to prove himself to Odin or out with Thor, he's trying to become something better, something that makes sense of all the pain he's caused and all the suffering he's endured. What makes this version so fun is that Loki still has his charm and mischievousness. He hasn't become boring or saintly, he's just not trapped anymore. When he faces King Loki, a future version of himself who represents everything terrible Loki could become, he literally writes the ending and chooses a different path. It's like a redemption arc, but done in the most Loki way possible, with cleverness, wordplay, and just a little bit of trolling. Power-wise, this is Loki operating on a meta level. He can manipulate stories, change perceptions, and essentially guide how events play out. It doesn't make him omnipotent, but it does make him one of the most influential forces in the Marvel multiverse. He can be a hero, a villain, or something completely outside that binary, whatever the story needs him to be. Fans love God of Stories Loki because it's the ultimate payoff for years of Loki's character development. It shows he's more than just the perpetual bad guy. He's someone who can grow, change, and even inspire. It's a fresh start, but still undeniably Loki, which is what makes this transformation one of the most satisfying ultimate forms Marvel has ever done. The Unseen. Nick Fury has always been the guy who knows too much. As the longtime director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's been the puppet master behind countless missions, secrets, and conspiracies. But in Original Sin, Marvel takes that idea and cranks it to 11. We find out Fury has secretly been the man on the wall, Earth's invisible protector, who's been assassinating alien threats and cosmic dangers before they ever had the chance to attack. He's been carrying that burden for decades, silently doing what no one else would dare, and it catches up to him. During the Original Sin storyline, the heroes confront Fury about his actions, and things spiral out of control. In a moment that shocks everyone, Fury kills Uatu the Watcher, the big, bold guy who just stands on the moon observing everything. Fury takes one of Uatu's eyes to access his secrets, which is such a wild move that you instantly know there's no going back. And by the end of the story, Fury is punished by the cosmic entities, and his punishment is almost poetic. Instead of killing him, they force Nick Fury to take Uatu's place. He becomes the Unseen, the new Watcher of Earth. He's chained to the moon, cursed to observe everything but never interfere again. For a guy like Fury who's been pulling strings and making impossible calls his whole life, that's worse than that. It's the ultimate twist. The man who always acted now has to sit and watch powerless for all eternity. The Unseen's face is scarred and half hidden under a hood, and he looks much older and wearier than the cigar-chomping super spy we're used to. He's not the slick, confident Fury anymore. He's this somber, almost ghostly figure watching Earth from afar. It's Marvel showing what happens when you strip a man down to nothing but his guilt and his knowledge. Thematically, the Unseen is a brilliant way to elevate Fury from just a spy to a mythic figure in the Marvel universe. He's no longer just coordinating the Avengers or yelling at Tony Stark. He is literally part of the cosmic order now. It also gives Marvel a way to keep Fury relevant in a universe full of gods and multiversal events. Whenever something big happens, you know the Unseen saw it coming, but can't do anything about it. And of course, being Marvel, they've teased that Fury might still find ways to interfere even if he's not supposed to. He's passed cryptic warnings to heroes, and you just know that one day he's going to break the Watcher's rules in some epic way. Cosmic Spider-Man. Among the countless spider people across the multiverse, none shine brighter, literally and metaphorically, than Cosmic Spider-Man of Earth 13, also known as Enigma Force Spider-Man. This version of Peter Parker is a cosmic god. He possesses the Enigma Force, the same mysterious energy that transforms mortals into Captain Universe, and it elevates him to a level where he can stand alongside Marvel's most powerful beings. So in the past of Earth 13, Peter Parker lived a life very similar to the main universe's Spider-Man, bitten by a radioactive spider, the loss of Uncle Ben, guilt, heroism, all of it. But everything changed when he was chosen by the Enigma Force, granting him the full power of Captain Universe. Now he has unlimited cosmic awareness, he can manipulate energy on a molecular level, he can fly and travel faster than light, he has super strength far beyond his usual levels, he can wrap reality in minor forms, invulnerability to most forms of attack, and matter transmutation. So essentially he's a cosmic god with spider sense, and he was a central figure in Spider-Verse 2014, where various spider people across the multiverse unite to battle the Inheritors, an ancient vampire-like family that feeds on spider totems. And as the most powerful among them, this Spider-Man becomes the leader of the multiversal resistance. He sets up base in his own universe because his version of Earth is safe from Inheritor attacks thanks to his immense cosmic power. But unfortunately, even godlike Strange has limits. Morland's father, Solus, eventually kills Cosmic Spider-Man by absorbing the Enigma Force, and this moment shocks the Spider-Verse alliance. So he was the potential of Peter Parker fully unleashed. We always hear the line, "With great power comes great responsibility," and this Peter bears the greatest responsibility of all. He's noble, kind and wise, yet never loses the humility that makes Spider-Man who he is. Jean Grey becomes the White Phoenix. When it comes to raw cosmic power in Marvel Comics, few characters reach the heights of Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force. But as the White Phoenix, this is Jean not merely as a mutant or as just a host, but as the true embodiment of the Phoenix Force itself. At this level, Jean becomes a cosmic constant, a guardian of reality, time, and rebirth itself. From the beginning, Jean's connection to the Phoenix Force has been deeper than anyone else's. She's the only known mortal who can fully bond with the Phoenix without losing herself. And while many characters have hosted the Phoenix, like Cyclops, Namor, and Wolverine, none have reached the same level of symbiosis. Anyway, Jean's ascension into the White Phoenix of the Crown takes place after her death and rebirth. After a battle involving a Magneto imposter, she dies in the arms of Cyclops, and her final wish being for him to move on and live a full life. But death was never the end for Jean Grey. 150 years into the future, a Phoenix egg hatches, and Jean is reborn once again. She finds herself in the White Hot Room, a metaphysical space beyond time where all Phoenix hosts and fragments exist. Here, Jean wears her white and gold Phoenix costume and is officially referred to by the Phoenix consciousness as the White Phoenix of the Crown, the highest expression of the Phoenix's essence. In the White Hot Room, she learns that her universe is broken. Beasts corrupted by the sentient bacterial entity Sublime had used the drug cake to bring about the ruin of Earth. Jean sees this devastation, and though others urge her to let the dying timeline fade, she refuses. Guided by the Phoenix itself, Jean takes the broken universe into her hands. She doesn't reset time with a bang. She nudges the past, guiding Cyclops to remain at the X-Men's school and to open his heart to Emma Frost, gently steering the future toward hope. And as the White Phoenix of the Crown, Jean operates on a multiversal level. Her powers include complete molecular and atomic control, multiversal awareness, manipulation of life, death and rebirth, time-space alteration, eraser or restoration of entire realities, and unity with all aspects of the Phoenix Force. As the White Phoenix, she's enlightened, representing the Phoenix not as a force of destruction, but as a delicate cycle of creation and renewal. She's the only being truly compatible with the Phoenix, and the White Phoenix of the Crown is her final form.